private call. Please hang up and follow facility instructions to register this number as a private number to accept charges and thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
What up? What up?
What's up, Jess?
You gonna do
You
the
ready?
intro? How we starting this thing tonight?
Man, we're going to start it off, listen, this is Big Chuck,
And this is Jessica.
and you are now tuned into The Impact.
Oh, here we got to try this one right here, right? Yay!
There it is right there. Absolutely.
What's going on tonight?
What do you mean what's going on tonight?
What's going on tonight? How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm great.
Yeah?
I'm great, man. Absolutely. Absolutely, I'm great. Everything is, it's hard to get me down, yo. I'm
That's
always
good.
up. I'm always up. I'm always excited, man. It's always fantastic. Even when it's not good, it's good because it could be worse,
Man,
So it's always
that's
good.
real. That's real.
Absolutely, absolutely. So look, we're gonna get into it. We're gonna talk about filthy rags. We're gonna talk about why we do what we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think that's a good thing to understand. If you're getting to know an organization, you want to know the people behind it, because there's a lot of
Absolutely.
organizations out there that are doing the work, but you're not really tied to them. But I think if you knew the people behind it and you heard the passion, and I've seen videos online and things of people that are behind the scenes that work for different organizations, and once you hear their story and why they do the
Yeah.
work and why they're tied into the work, it makes a, I don't know, it makes my perception of that organization a lot different, right? Because you're like, oh, there's actual humans behind the work.
Yeah,
Humans that
absolutely.
care.
Absolutely. People, Theodore Roosevelt. So I was sitting in my business class the other day, and I flipped the page, and it had this saying in there, and it was by Theodore Roosevelt. And it says, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yes.
Right? And I know Fonz, the founder, he likes to use that phrase a lot, and I never knew where it came from. He might not even know where it came from, but it's something that somebody uses, right? And so, in the beginning, when I first heard about Filthy Rags, when they first asked me to be a part of it, I was like, hey, yo, I'm good. I'm good. That's not my lane. I was like, because I don't understand anything about gang life. I don't understand anything about it, right? And because I was like, man, I'm in prison. I'm trying to figure out who I am. I'm trying to learn who the Lord is. But as I begin to grow in the Lord, and as I, dealt with, Fonz and Champ, and just talking with all the brothers more and more, man, it just began to grow on me, right? But the Lord really softened my heart, man, and gave me a heart of compassion for these young men. And as I started talking to these cats, I was like, I got to be a part of this, because it really just became a part of just doing life with people and just sharing life. You know what I mean? Sharing life with a lot of these young fellas, man, who have people in their life who are role models, but they're not the best role models for life, man. Because a person can't give you what they don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? And so
wait.
my whole reason.
Let me go back, because I want to stop you. You're going to paint the whole picture, but I want more details than that. I want you to go a little deeper. So when was it Fonz or Champ that came up to you in the beginning and asked you to be a part of it? And how did they present it to you? Like, what did they say?
So Fonz came to me first, right? Because me and Fonz always been tight.
Okay.
Like, I've known Champ, but like me and Champ, we would speak, but we didn't really grow tight until we started working together. But I was always talking to Fonz. Me and Fonz was always together. And me and Fonz would spend hours just walking the yard and talking, man.
Okay. And so, sorry, I want to interrupt you one more time. For those that are listening and have never heard of Filthy Rags Outreach before, this is your first time listening to our podcast. When we refer to Fonz and Champ, Fonz is Alfonso Bell. That is the founder and visionary of Filthy Rags Outreach. And Champ is Charles Champion. That is the co-founder of Filthy Rags Outreach. And those two are the ones that started this organization. Okay, go ahead.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Jess. Thanks for listening, everybody else.
There might be a first time listener out there that's like, listen, Fonz and Champ, what?
Yeah, who is this Fonz and Champ guy?
You know.
So anyway, Fonz told me about it. He said, "Hey man, listen, man, God has given me this vision," and I would always encourage him in it, but because I'm not from the gang lifestyle, I was just like, "Hey man, listen, man, that's your thing. That's where you're from. That's what you do."
Like, oh, good for you. You know, pat on the back.
Yeah,
right on.
yeah,
But I'm gonna be over
like
here.
do your thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, listen, I support you in whatever you do. I encourage you, and that's why he always calls me the counsel, because he runs a lot of stuff by me,
Okay.
and I have a different, outlook on things, right? So then we started having meetings on the yard.
Okay, describe these meetings, because I want to make sure that you go into what these meetings on the yard look like.
So now picture this: you got Fonz, you got Champ, you got me, and we're walking up and down the breezeway. We're meeting people, and we're handing out little strips of paper. And on these little strips of paper are questions, right? Are questions, just different random questions about who you are, about life, who do you think God is, what would you do if you could get out of the life that you live, yada yada yada.
So you guys were what is that word? Prostitute? I can never say it. Proselytizing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Proselytizing.
Okay. You was proselytizing on the breezeway.
Right. We was basically handing out kick tracks for filthy rags.
Right. Okay.
Right. And so what we would do is we say, hey man, listen, read this, and man, meet us outside the next time we got yard, which is normally on Saturday. So now, mind you, you hit the yard, and we got 150 gang members out there on both sides of the fence, and everybody's standing there just talking.
Like literally both sides of the fence.
Literally.
2 different yards,
literally on both sides
separated by a fence. 75 gang members on one side, 75 on the other side, and you guys are literally at the fence talking, right?
And we're literally at the fence.
Okay.
And mind you, they all ain't from the same gangs. You got everybody from Bloods to Crips to G's to Reños to everybody.
Norteños, Hoovers.
Absolutely. It was just relationships that we built, right? And so we get them all to come outside, and then it just goes from there. It was so heavy, right? Because we're in the middle, and we're allowing people to express themselves. And when they ask us, when they answer the question, what we would do is we would answer the question. This is what God says about you. This is what the Bible says, right? Because the majority of the people you meet have a foundation in the church. They just get away from it. It's like the Bible says, train up a child in the way he should go, and he should not depart from it.
Yeah.
But sometimes we, once we're able to make our own decisions, that's when we go astray. Once we start thinking for ourselves. And so it was so it just grew, and it grew so big that they literally called a code. And when they call a code, they hit a siren and bells start ringing, and
everybody
all these officers
has to drop to the floor, right? Or no?
Right. All these officers, they rush out to the yard, and they're walking over to the group, boom, 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 because they coming out there because they thinking this about to be some type of riot or something crazy is about to happen out there. And they come over there and they see Fonz, and they're like, oh man, let's just snatch the bell. He out here preaching to people. They all turn around and leave. And that's when we really knew that God's favor was really on this thing. Right.
Yeah.
And so then from the yard we move into we get a classroom, right? And so here's where they got me. They said, "Hey man, listen."
Oh, so you at this point you were just participating in the yard meetings, but you were like still not halfway in, halfway out.
Yeah, I'm still really not feeling it yet because it's like because I was I had my own things I was going through because God was really working on me in my life.
Okay.
And helping me understand all the things that I was going through, right?
Okay.
And I say, yeah, man, so boom. We ended up getting a classroom in P building, and P building is the education building. We get a classroom up there. And so Jeff calls me outside. He said, hey, bro, listen, we need you. I said, man, I'm not feeling that, yo. I said, listen, I get it. Like, it was cool. I said, but, you guys go ahead, man. Listen, I support it. And I ended up going up there. They said, man, just come up there. And I came up there.
Just come check it out one time.
Yeah. Man, just come up here with the first night, man. Just be up there, man. Support us. And so I said, okay. And I get up there, and they throw me on the spot. They just throw me out there, and I'm just like, all right, I see what it is.
Okay, knowing Charles and Alfonso, they had to have a plan. Okay, we're just gonna tell him, we're just gonna get him in here one time, and we're just gonna throw him on the spot, and then
Absolutely.
I can just picture this.
Right. So look, how camp is with that smile. When he when he's sick of his teeth when he smiles.
Oh my goodness.
And he just looked at me. I'm just like, come on, yo. I was like, is this for real? I was like, all right, okay, I got y'all. And I like to rise to the occasion. I ain't gonna back down. I'm with it.
Okay.
Let's go. Right. And so I'm up there, and of course I got my Bible in my hand, and I open the Bible, and I go to Ecclesiastes, right? And I go to Ecclesiastes, and I think it's 8 in chapter 8, verse 11, right?
Mm-hmm.
And as I'm standing there and I'm flipping through my Bible, I said, Lord, you better give me some. You better give me something. And I go Ecclesiastes 8, verse 11, and I'm going to paraphrase this because I don't have a Bible in front of me right now. But it said something to the effect of, because the punishment for our iniquities are not instant, we continue in those things, right? That's just a paraphrase. Mm-hmm. But if anybody out there would go to Ecclesiastes 8, verse 11, you'll see what I'm saying. And so then I just went from there. I said, listen, this is what God is telling us. The reason we're all sitting in this room right now together is because our punishments were not instant. Because had we been punished the very first time we started doing something, we would have never kept doing what we were doing, right? And because we kept getting away with it, we kept thinking we was good and thinking we were good and thinking we were good. And then when we finally got caught, they sat us down.
Yep.
With double-digit numbers, right? And so from then, man, it just took. And I've been doing it ever since, man. And I love it. I love the work. I really do.
That's what's
I love
up.
the work.
I actually just pulled up Ecclesiastes, but this is the New King James version. That's the one I have downloaded on my phone here. But it says, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the heart of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil.
Absolutely.
I'm going to keep going because just by reading a little bit forward, it says, though a sinner does evil 100 times and his days are prolonged, yet I surely know that it will be well with those who fear God, who fear before him.
Absolutely.
But it will not be well with the wicked, nor will he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he does not fear before God. Sorry, I had to keep going.
Absolutely.
That was through 11 through 13.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. Amen. And so that was the verse I went with, right? That was the one the Lord gave me. And it was so Bonds likes me in the room because he likes me to watch people, because that's what I do. And I watch people's faces, and I'm looking around the room, and everybody's got this blank look on their face like, oh, man.
And you just called out everyone in the room.
Man, called out the whole room, myself included, right? And and it was funny. And then after I said it, I went and I sat down. And then Champ said, oh, man, it's always him. He said, all right, so might drop on that one. Right?
Oh, I can picture this. I'm like, I can see it.
It's always him, man. It's always him. He always got this crazy little thing to say at the end of something. It's just like, where you get that from?
Big old smile too, right?
Man, showing all 26 of his teeth, man. Or 32, or however many teeth in his mouth, but you see them all when he smiles.
Okay.
That's my man. I love him though. That's my bro right there, man. That's my big little bro. That's my big little bro. And so, man, we just been growing ever since. We just been growing ever since, man. And and the more I grow in God, the more I grow in my love for people. The more I grow in my love for people, man. And I begin to listen to the hearts of men. I really begin to listen to people's hearts, right? Because when Jesus was here, Jesus didn't turn anybody away.
Yeah.
Jesus didn't go. He didn't go to where the good people were. He went to the worst people. Because like he says in Matthew, it's not the healthy that need the doctor. It's the sick that need the doctor.
Man, and the first time I heard somebody refer to the church as a hospital for sinners, it just clicked. I was like, well, duh.
Yeah.
If we was all good and out here living right and everything was perfect, there would be no need for God. There would be no need for Jesus. There would be no need to congregate with other believers. Like, what would be the point? And so when somebody said that, just like you said, Jesus, he approached people that were, nobody in town, like, oh, he's talking to her. Oh my gosh,
But you know what's crazy though? They did that to Jesus though.
Oh,
they did that to
I
him,
know.
right? Even when the woman washed his feet,
yep.
With her hair and her tears, he said if he knew who that woman was, he wouldn't allow her to touch him, right? But Jesus said so smoothly and instantly checked him.
Yeah.
Right? The same way he did to everybody. And so that really began to help me, man, because Christ really began to work on me. Because as a believer in Christ, I'm not going to say a Christian, as a believer in Christ, it is our job to be Christ-like.
Right.
See, that's the whole thing. We are to be Christ-like. We are made in his image and likeness. And the work that the Father does in us is to bring us into more Christ-likeness. So when he sees us, he sees Jesus.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing about that. So he sees his son in us, right? And so I just begin to listen to the hearts of men, man, and I just really begin to just love these cats. A lot of these cats, man, they're so misguided.
Yeah.
They don't really want to do the stuff that they do, and that's what tripped me out. Like, they just do it for survival, right? And when a person doesn't have direction and they don't know who they are, you can direct them anywhere you want them to go.
Oh yeah.
You can tell them, right? And so it's just so misguided, man. And so I kind of became like a big brother, or big homie, OG, whatever you want to call it. But I make sure to pour into these guys each and every day, yo. And now Filthy Rags is just, man, we doing it.
Yeah.
We got Big Jessica Justice on the ones and twos now. She got our website popping. She got us going crazy outside of prison, man. Tess, tell them about what you do, because I can't see it from in here, but I hear about it from you. So I want them to. You have to tell the people your part about what you do with Filthy Rags.
What I do, I think I'm, kind of a jack of all trades. If I don't know how to do it, I'm gonna find out. When I first started, we're sitting here. My phone is blowing up, and I apologize for the beeping.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if you can hear it, but yeah, when I first started with Filthy Rags Outreach, and you said, I got the website cracking or whatever. Y'all had a website already when I came on board. Shout out to Rosie for setting up the website. She got it started. Yeah. So you guys had a website, and then I think they had just shut down the meetings you guys were having in there because it was, COVID, right? They stopped all programming and all that stuff. So really, we were kind of on, or you guys were kind of on like a hiatus or a pause, right? Because you had the meetings going, and if COVID hadn't happened, it would have been, I think, a lot of things would have happened a lot quicker, right? But when I came on board, there were guys on the inside that were sending blogs that I was posting, or Rosie had started posting, and then I, ended up taking over that and posting those blogs on the website. We started doing, I started going to Pastor Harold's church out in Tacoma, and we decided.
Shout out to Pastor Harold.
Yep, shout out. We're gonna have him on the podcast. Harold, man,
for being the first Filthy Rag sponsor. Huh? Come on now.
Yeah. Your phone, you got about a minute left here, but I'll keep talking. I started going out to the church.
You have 1 minute left.
There you go. Out in Hilltop, and the guys that were involved in Filthy Rags Outreach meetings before the meetings got shut down, they would call in those that wanted to share, and they would preach live in church. And so I would set the system up just like I have going now, and we had the screen on, the graphic on the screen, and they would preach from behind bars.
I actually got a couple of those up there myself.
You do.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that was the beginning. That was about 2021. But I'm gonna let you call back.
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna put this on.
I'm gonna
pause.
call right back.
and we will be back in like 30 seconds, hopefully.
30 seconds.
All right.
All right.
The caller has hung up. Hello, this is a free call from
You there? Hello? Check. Uh-oh, we're having some technical difficulties here. Give me 1 second. Check. Hey, check.
Hello?
There you are.
Okay, here I am. You got me?
Yeah, that was weird because I had you set up on the other channel before. Now you switched over to that channel. That was weird. Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Yo,
we got that
we back.
figured out.
Yeah.
Sorry for the
And listen,
interruption there.
absolutely. Hey, man, listen, man. We thank y'all for rocking with us, man. We thank y'all for staying engaged and tuning in. For those that tune in, man, we ask you to always bring somebody along with you, you know, because we're all
Yeah.
growing together.
We got a comment
We're all growing together.
on YouTube talking about bringing somebody along with you. It says, tell Big Chuck Blaze said what's up.
Yeah, that's what's up. Blaze, what's up, baby? I appreciate you, man. Listen, I'm on my way. Get ready for me. So, Jess, so now you're doing the website. You're going to Pastor Harold's church, and you're putting us on the screen, and we're ministering from the inside.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Go. Start from there.
2 Sundays a month we were doing that, and around that time, I think they kind of happened at the same time where you guys wanted to have meetings out here, and since everything was shut down in the prisons during COVID time, the focus was really out here because we were able to do stuff out here, and it was like, okay, well, I know this is kind of, I think you guys were thinking, well, it's not really how you guys had pictured it to happen. Like, you wanted a strong foundation inside and then spread out. But since everything got shut down and it was so abrupt, it was like, okay, well, we got to shift our focus somewhere, right? So
look, so what happened? So check this out. This is the part I think you might have forgot, Jeff, and it just came to me. So when the administration here found out what we were doing, they shut our phone lines down. They shut our phone lines down.
Yeah.
And they were supposed to have them. Yeah, they shut our phone lines down. They was like, wait a minute.
I didn't forget that.
Yeah, they was like, who figured, how are you doing what you're doing from right here? And they shut us down. And we were supposed to have a meeting with administration that has never happened to this day.
Yeah.
But anyway, go back to saying what you were saying.
Yeah, I definitely didn't forget that. But I guess it's
absolutely
not. Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, we were doing that, and you guys, because there was obviously no meetings going on inside. we wanted to kind of replicate what you guys were doing on the inside out here, on the outside. And since Pastor Harold was willing to, facilitate that, and he had a church, he had a building we could do these meetings at, he was like, okay, cool. So he gave us the first and third Saturdays of every month, and I would go and I would set up just like I'm set up right now with my podcast equipment. And I had 2 laptops and I had like a microphone that would sit in the middle of the room. Imagine a room with, chairs in a circle, and I've got a microphone in the center. The guys would call in from prison. So Charles would call in, Alfonso would call in and talk to the guys and basically lead these meetings from prison. And the meetings were basically, the same that you guys were doing inside of there. But obviously the men out here were free, but they were trying to change, trying to grow, trying to be around other men that are also trying to change and trying to grow. And it also came from, a faith background, because Pastor Harold would often, share a message at the end of these meetings as well. So we did that. And I believe he's still doing those meetings, although I don't know, his what he is doing now has shifted a little bit, because he's got the 2 re-entry houses now, and that's something that he's got going on now. So the meetings that he has, I believe, are more focused toward those guys that are coming out that are in these houses. But it's, it's very similar, but it stemmed from those original Filthy Rags outreach meetings. And then,
his thing, man.
Go ahead.
His thing is, when men come out of prison, they really need to get founded in the church. And that was really his whole thing behind opening up those reentry houses. Like if you come, when you get out of prison, you have to get grounded in a church. And so he provides that church for him, because he knows how important it was for him.
Right.
So that was just my little interjection right there.
Oh yeah,
so go ahead.
That's definitely true. I've heard him say that probably a dozen times or more. But during that summer, we had a community barbecue. So it was co-sponsored with Filthy Rags Outreach and Sons and Daughters of Thunder Ministries, where we invited the community out. We did a lot of advertising on Facebook, and the people in the church, which is a really small church, went out to a lot of the businesses in the neighborhood and said, hey, we're out here having a barbecue. I had my kids come on board. My daughter was doing face painting, and balloon animals, and
all right.
I had the Filthy Rags Outreach backdrop, and my camera. So I was taking pictures of people for free or whatever, just in front of the Filthy Rags
Rags. For all who don't know, Jessica is a photographer, and she will show up at your spot. She is open for business, just to let you know.
Thank you for the plug. So yeah, I was taking pictures of everybody, putting them up on the website, just trying to get the word out about what we were doing. We had a free car wash. One Saturday we went out there and stood on the corner, and we just passed out Gatorade to everybody, and just we were doing things like that. So that was really cool. And then I think, I don't really remember why or what was going on, but a lot of that kind of dwindled down. I had a shift focus. I had started a new job, and I wasn't available on Saturdays anymore. And that's kind of what made me not available to go to those meetings anymore. But Pastor Harold picked up the slack, him and his son Laquan. We're still doing the meetings and stuff like that. But then kind of my focus shifted a little bit toward trying to find people to come on board and help. So since that point, we've gotten a few men that were willing and able to go into Judge Patricia H. Clark. I think it's called Youth and Family. I don't even know what it is. The one on 1211 East Alder. I know the address, but I don't know the name. Is too long. But we had a couple guys that were willing to go in there. And so absolutely. I went into the juvenile a few times with Hawk. Shout out Samuel Hawkins. And then
mind you, these are all men. These are men that we've done time with too.
Yeah, he did what, like 37 years?
Absolutely. These are men that we did time with and who supported Filthy Rags, man. Supported what we were doing. And a lot of times you will meet a lot of guys, a lot of older guys, were like, man, I wish they had this when I first came to prison.
Right. Men
But,
that are just
yeah,
doing better, right? Or making it
yeah,
cool to do better.
absolutely. Who suffer the consequences of living this life, and now they're like, hey, listen, somebody got to tell these youngsters the truth about it. Like, it's not what everybody thinks it is. It's not glitz and glamour. Like that is real. Bullets are real. Guns are real. You know, the consequences of this lifestyle is very real. You
Yeah.
know,
I mean,
so
I was never in a gang, obviously, but
yeah,
been around a lot of people that were in gangs, and really you either end up dead, in prison,
absolutely,
addicted to
absolutely,
drugs, that's that,
yeah,
or you get out of that lifestyle. And a lot of people, I always thought when I was younger, oh, you can never leave a gang, you couldn't, you have to get jumped out, or they'll kill you, or you
yeah,
know what I mean? I
yeah.
had
You
all
think it's
these.
blood in,
Right,
blood out. You
right,
know,
right.
yeah,
But
hmm,
it's not really like that. You know what I mean?
absolutely
You
not,
can still
absolutely
be
not,
cool, but you raise your family. And
absolutely.
you just don't have to. You don't have to be in a gang. You know what I mean?
Like you don't, yeah, you really don't have to. So for us on the inside, what COVID did is COVID gave us a chance because so we weren't able to have our classes anymore, and so what it did it enabled uh, uh, Camp, Fonz, LG, Davenport, shout out my big bro, to have the time to sit down and write a curriculum,
I was just gonna
right?
go there. Yep.
Okay, and to write a curriculum. I don't want to take the words out your mouth,
No, 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 no. When you
but
started talking, I was
right,
like, yeah, we got to make sure and mention the curriculum,
yeah,
because
to write a curriculum.
the meetings you guys were
Hmm.
having in the beginning, they weren't. I mean, they would think of different topics and things to talk about, but it wasn't formalized. Like it didn't have like a
Right,
book written, right? So
right,
yeah,
and so yeah, and so now we really have a structured curriculum that that was written and that is being instituted. So we're in the talks right now in here with a lieutenant and a sergeant that want to sponsor us inside, which is pretty much unheard of,
yeah,
right? But but what's happening is they're starting to see the gang problem, how it's from the streets now, it's spilling over in here, and how these guys are getting younger and younger as they come in. And the fact of the matter is, they don't know how to reach them.
yeah,
And so like Fonzo says, is, hey man, listen, we're the answer. We have the answer. So and so now we're in the talks right now, and we're getting ready to get this class up and running. We have a lieutenant and a sergeant who want to sponsor us, and his hope is that other staff members will want to come on board and sponsor it too.
yeah,
Because with him just going through the curriculum, he's like, hey man, I've learned a lot just from going through this curriculum, because you can't if you don't understand people, you can't reach them.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys speak their
Right?
language,
You absolutely, you have to be able to understand people in order to reach them. And so that's a really big thing that we got going on right now, and I'm so excited about it because I know it's going to be an amazing thing. It was crazy. So the other day we were going into the class to have our weekly meeting, and then the education navigator, Miss Larson, she was in the hallway. She's like, "Oh, what are you guys doing? You guys getting ready to learn something?" And we were like, "Actually, yes." She was like, "Well, let me come in and see." Right? And so she's like, "Okay, so what is this?" And we gave her the curriculum, and so she wears a mask. She still wears a COVID mask, right?
Mm-hmm.
But her eyes. So she's looking at it, and her eyes got really big. She was like, "Oh my goodness, this is it!" Like she got so excited about it, and she was like, "Listen, whatever you guys need, I'll help you get it. Whenever it's ready, I'm ready. Whatever you guys want to do." I said, "Well, actually, one of the concerns that I was thinking about is how can we get more copies of these books?" She was like, "That's easy. I'll send it down to the building, tell them how many copies I want, and then we'll go from there." Because I have a book. Of course, us core members have one, but we were trying to figure out how we were going to get the funding to be able to give a book to each man that shows up to the class, right? Instead of handing them one sheet of paper every single week, and that just solved that problem right there. So in here, man, it's moving. It really is moving. It really is moving. So
Praise
so now
God.
we're just waiting on we're just waiting on to have the meeting with administration, and but all of the key players to get it for administration to buy into it are completely on board.
That's
So
what's
now
up.
it's just, yeah, absolutely. Listen, God's on the move. God's blessing us in here, and man, we finna help. We finna do everything we can, to help these young men to understand. Like, hey, listen, man, this is not it. This is only the beginning, but this is the first day of the rest of your life, man. You can change this. I remember sitting up in the chapel having a meeting one day, man, and I said, man, honestly, some of the cats that sit in the gangs and living this lifestyle, they don't even want to do that. Some of them might want to be a clothing designer. And I remember everybody bust out laughing because I was smiling. They was like, bro, you got to be serious. I said, no, I am serious. I was like, I know it sounds funny. I said, but everybody don't want to be a rapper.
Yeah.
Or everybody don't want to, like I said, yo, somebody might want to be a clothing designer. Somebody might want to be a computer programmer. Somebody might want to be this or be that. I said, but because they don't know anybody else that does that, they're kind of pigeonholed into doing what they do because they think this is the only way.
Right.
But they really don't want to do it, and they don't have the courage to step away from everything that they know and everybody that they know.
It's a comfort zone.
Absolutely. Even though that comfort is chaos, it's still comfort.
Yeah.
I know, right? And so when we think about doing life, it's like fellowship in a church. When you fellowship with fellow other believers, is to help each other to grow in their faith. And so what Filthy Rag does is, man, we basically fellowship too, but we're helping these young men. We're doing life with these men. We share our victories. We share our victories, man. We share our defeats. There's nothing you can ask me or any of us about our life that we're not going to share with you, because I've learned that, and we've all learned it, and I know you know this to be true too, Jess, that you always have to share what you've been through, because there's somebody out there that's going through something very similar or the same thing, who's ashamed of what they're going through because they think nobody else is going through it. Mm-hmm. And then when you share what you went through and how you got victory in it, they always come to you and be like, listen, I need your help because I'm going through the same thing. Right?
And it's crazy the shift in society these days too. And just speaking of, people going through something and sharing what they've gone through to get other people to change, right? There's such a big push, especially in Washington, with peer counseling and lived experience. There's so much funding that has opened up in the last few years to hire people with lived experience into these roles so that they can share. Like the work that I do, the organization that I work for has dedicated peer counselors for people,
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about what you said? Go ahead.
Oh, just they have dedicated peer counselors for these people, right? People who have went through homelessness or addiction or whatever, because, years past, it's always been, okay, well, we're going to let them see somebody that's been trained up and knows all about addiction so that they can help them get clean, or, you know what I mean? But it's like, okay, you go in and talk to somebody, but if you feel like that person cannot relate to you, you're just talking to a book.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
it's just like you don't want to open up to somebody that don't understand what you've gone through, like really open up and can't relate to you, because there's healing in being able to share experiences and share life. So having Filthy Rags outreach in prison facilities facilitated by men who have gone through that lifestyle, who have been in gangs, who have committed murder.
In the streets, period.
Who have committed murder, who have grown up in just in chaos and just whatever their circumstances are, share their experience and their stories with other young men that are coming on board. And this is why it's so important to catch them when they're young. And this is why it's so important to get into the juveniles. And I think even younger. We just got an email from a woman yesterday, from a middle school in Federal Way, wanting a gang prevention program in her middle school. So these are 12, 13, 14, maybe 11, 12, 13-year-old young men or even girls, right, that are going through or maybe being enticed to go into gangs. And that's, you see on the news, 13-year-olds shooting up other 13-year-olds, and that's the age that they're getting them. So we're needed.
You know what's crazy?
We're needed in we're needed in middle schools, probably elementary schools. So the men that have gone through this, if you guys are listening to this, we need you. We need you to come on board, and we need you to help us get into schools.
You have 1 minute left.
Facilities.
There was a thing on the news the other day, before I hang up and call back, that a robbery was committed by a 7-year-old.
What?
There was a robbery committed by a 7-year-old that was with a 15-year-old, and he had a 7-year-old commit, and they convinced this 7-year-old to commit a robbery. Like, they stood back and they supported him, but they had a 7-year-old commit a robbery.
You're gonna have to hang up and call back and tell me a little bit more about this.
Absolutely. I got you.
We'll be right back.
I'm gonna call back.
Station now.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, y'all. Yeah. So look, there was this there was a thing on TV on the news, man, where there was a 7-year-old, like a 14-year-old, and a 17-year-old, and they gave this 7-year-old a hatchet, and they committed a robbery, man.
Was this in the Seattle area, Washington?
This was in Washington. I don't remember where it was at, but it was right here in Washington. And this is what we're saying. Like, listen, if kids will do whatever they're told to do.
Yeah.
But a 7-year-old really has a 7-year-old has the biggest dreams and ambitions in the world. You know? But for someone to take a person so young and just institute him into that type of lifestyle, they're literally trying to ruin that child. You see what I'm saying? And this is, for everybody listening, this is why we do the work that we do, right? This is why we do the work that we do, because it's just misguided people. People are being misguided, and to a 7-year-old, a 14-year-old, or a 17-year-old is basically an adult.
Oh yeah.
And he's looking up to these people like, well, they older than me, so they clearly got it figured out. Or,
right.
And this is what we do, and this is how we survive, and everybody's just being misguided, right? So this is why we do the work that we do. This is why we're out there. This is why we're in the juveniles. This is why we're having church meetings, and this is why we're out there. This is why we started this podcast, just to get our voice out there, so that everybody can know, hey, listen, we're with you guys. We're with you in here, out there. Like, we're in here fighting the same fight.
Yeah. We
are a link in this chain. You see what I'm saying? Like, so if you're in this same type of work that we are, if they somehow slip through you guys' fingers, we're waiting for them in here, because they're not going to fall through the cracks. The work is still going to continue. We're waiting for them to help them, to get them on track, help them get focused.
And hopefully that out here we can start doing the work so that we can eventually get rid of Filthy Regs outreach meetings inside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think there will probably always be, because there's always going to be somebody, but
It's always going to be needed in here,
right, right.
It is.
What I'm thinking is, we're talking about, I had just got done saying that, we need men to go outreach in the juveniles and men to go to schools, right?
Yeah.
And even probably elementary schools. And that's exactly what it's needed. We need like an army of men that are not afraid to go out there and share their lived experience. You know what I mean? Men who have changed their lives, or even in the process of changing their lives and trying to do better, right? Imagine you change a little young boy's life that is headed down the wrong road, right? But my mind, because of the work that I do, right? Because I do case management. I'm in housing right now, but it's case management is case management either way, right? But I look at things like this and I'm saying, okay, when you say a 7-year-old boy, my mind starts thinking, okay, what's going on at home, right? What is mom going through? What is, or, auntie or grandma or whoever the child lives with? That's when I start thinking,
where's his dad?
Yeah.
Right. So for every man that's out there listening, and every woman who knows a man, because everybody knows somebody. Men are needed. Men are needed in a time such as this, for situations such as this. If you're a man out there, or a woman, or whoever, but definitely for the men, if you're a man and you want to make a difference and you don't know how to make a difference, or you're at home and you're like, listen, I want to do something, but I don't even know which way to go, contact Jessica at Filthy Rags Outreach.
Jessica at filthyragoutreach.org is my email.
We need your stories. It's lived experience. These young men, they don't understand. It's not what they think it is. But for someone who has been through it and lived through it and made it and has changed their life, these are the examples that they need. Just listen, our sports athletes, they're good examples, but everybody can't be an athlete and everybody can't be an entertainer. So if you're a computer programmer, or if you're a police officer, if you bake pies in a pie shop, right? But you are living positively and you want to help and you want to make change. Listen, we are open and willing to receive the help that you are able to give us. We need your help. And that's just real. That's just real with it, because we understand, listen, man, not everybody is going to come from the church that works with us, but that's okay. That's okay, but we need people to come and work with us.
Yeah.
We can't do it all, but we can do as much as we can until we can't do it no more,
And many hands make light work too. We need many hands. We need guys to come on board that are willing to share their lived experience, women to come on board to share their lived experience in the women's facilities and the young girls pod at the juveniles, Echo Glen. We need women to go out there. We need women, even if they don't have lived experience, that have a heart and a passion to serve, to come on board and help us, or help me administratively. There's a lot of grants we want to be able to apply for, to be able to do this work, to be able to hire men to do this, because it takes time, and being able to pay somebody for the work that they're doing as well is something that we want to be able to do eventually. So all of these pieces of the puzzle need to come together, but we can't make all these pieces come together without help. So if you are listening to this and you feel so inclined, you have this tugging on your heart, like, hey, I think I want to help, but I'm not sure how. Oh, I'm not going to reach out because I don't know exactly what I can do. No, reach out anyways. Reach out anyways. We can plug you in. We can find something for you to do. We need the help. So come on board.
Absolutely. Like we definitely need the help. But just listen, I hate to even get off the phone, but where I'm at, it's that time.
Yeah, we've had a rather long podcast tonight too. So
absolutely, that's what's up. But it was productive, man, and I think that people really understand who it is and what it is to do. And man, we're here. So one day, hopefully, if we can get enough people to listen, we want to do call in. And, ask us the questions, man, and we'll chop it up and we'll get, because it's always about people. Our work is about people. It's what we do.
Yeah.
We want to hear what you think, not just shooting a comment here and there, but call in. Let's talk about it,
Yeah, if you want to be a guest
got
on our
questions?
podcast, send us an email,
Absolutely.
send us a call, leave a message on Facebook, get a hold of us. We'll bring you on as a guest and talk
Absolutely.
about your story.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll talk about it, but it has to be positive.
For sure.
It has to be positive, but no doubt. But listen, Jess, thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for all the work you do.
You
Listen,
too.
man, we can't do it without you. For each and every person that was listening tonight, thank you. Thank you for tuning in, man. Thank you for giving us an hour of your time or 20 minutes or wherever you came in at. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time with us, man. We thank you for your comments. Listen, man, we love y'all. We need y'all. And we do it for you because we can't do it without you.
And we'll be back next Thursday.
All right. We'll see you next Thursday. All right, y'all. Bye-bye.
Have a good night.